Hi, my name is David McCann, and this screencast is a tutorial on how to use the Wiki plugin to create a wiki for your WordPress site. We're starting with a blank website. The Wiki plugin will work with any theme. Here we are set up using the 2015 theme. As you can see from the site title, in our demo we'll be creating a wiki about chess. First thing I'm going to do is go to the administration screens and check the permalink settings. Wiki uses the article titles for linking the articles together to create the wiki structure. Therefore, we need to use the post name or pretty permalink option. Now let's look at the plugins. I've got two plugins installed. A column shortcodes plugin, which isn't a requirement, I'm just using it in the demo, and then the Wiki plugin itself. You can see when I activate the Wiki plugin, we get a new section here in the side menu for wiki pages. We have all wiki pages, which is a list of all the ones that we've created, and we haven't created it yet. Add new, and then wiki categories and wiki tags. The wiki categories and wiki tags are just like the post categories and tags, but they're just for the wiki pages. So let's create our first wiki page. This is going to be a special TOC page. The page named TOC is a special type of page in that you can create a table of contents or other wiki content that you can embed in other wiki pages. Let me show you how that works. First I'll put in a heading here, table of contents. And now these will be the sections of our site. So I'm going to put in regular wiki links here, and I want to point out there are two buttons here in the editor that will insert the shortcode. So you don't have to remember the syntax for how to create your shortcode. You can use these buttons. And the one we're going to use here is the add wiki link. The other one's called add wiki listing, which is what you use to insert, for example, the TOC. But since we're creating that, it doesn't apply here. So when you click on the wiki link pop-up, you see there are two text boxes here, one for link and one for show. This is the link is the page that we're actually going to go to. The show is what's going to show in your content. It's optional. The show is optional. You can leave it blank, and if you leave it blank, then what's in the link will be the default that shows. But if you want to override what the link, the page title, then you would put something in the show box, what you wanted to say. So let's add the sections of the site. We had history of chess, now we have rules of the game. Interesting facts. Tactics. famous players, and finally for our wiki we'll have an article index. So that should be enough. We're not really going to fill in all of these, but we'll do some of them to illustrate how the plugin works. So let's save this, and we'll take a look. The TOC isn't really meant to be a page on its own. It's meant to be embedded in other pages, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But I just wanted to show you what it looks like here. Okay, so now let's create our first real wiki page. And the page we're going to create will be a kind of, let's see, welcome to the chess wiki. This will be the first page people see when they come to our wiki. So now I'm going to use the column shortcode to put some columns in here. And we'll use the TOC here. So we're going to just output the TOC page on the left side. And there are two other options here. One is to output a wiki category, and the last one is to output an index, and we'll look at those in a couple of minutes. But first, let's just put this in here, and let's see, I think I was supposed to put that between these two. And now let's do the other part here. And I'm just making up some content here. So I'm just going to paste in some dummy text. And at the end here, I'm going to put in a wiki link. And let's see, we'll link to rules of the game, but what we'll show here is click here to learn how to play. Okay, so let's save that. And now let's go take a look at it. Okay, so on the left, this is the TOC that we've embedded here. On the right is the page we just created. And here you see this links to rules of the game, but it shows click here to learn how to play. And one thing I want to point out are the red links. You see the links to the wiki pages that don't exist yet are in red. And the plugin uses the standard WordPress permissions. So if you're looking at the page and you have the rights to edit it, this will be a link. If you click on it, you'll be taken to the editor page to create the content. However, if you don't have permissions to edit, then there will not be a link. It'll just be red text. And the red indicates that it's a link, but the page doesn't exist yet. Okay, so this is going to be the first page of the wiki. Let's add it to the menu. So we have wiki pages, but it doesn't show up in the menu here. And this happens sometimes for in a lot of the admin screens. There are often some other options that you can access via the screen options here. So let's just add wiki pages here. Okay, and now they show up. And let's add some items to our menu. Oh, well. Okay, so let's create a menu. We'll call it main menu. And now let's add some pages to it. And we're going to put it in the primary menu area. Okay, let's go see what that looks like now. Okay, so this is where in the 2015 theme the menu goes, and we see here's the link to our wiki. Click on that, and there's our start page. Okay, so we know we want to have a section for famous players. So let's create some pages for famous players. And the first one is Manuel Lasker. And we'll add in our dummy text. We'll add a wiki link here, and the link will be to a page we're going to call Jose Capablanca. And what we'll show is that he forfeited his title to Capablanca. And we'll insert that there. Okay, now if you remember, we have these wiki categories, and these pages are going to be about famous players. So let's create a category for famous players and assign this. Okay, let's publish that. Okay, and let's view it. Okay, and there's the page we just created, and it says here this is the link, that doesn't exist, and so here we now clicked and went into the editor, and we'll add our dummy text, and we'll put in a wiki link here, and we'll link to the page Alexander Aliekin, and we'll show he was defeated by Aliekin. And we'll also assign this to the famous player category and publish. Let's go view that. Okay. And now we'll create the page for Alexander Alekine. And also assign that to the famous player category and publish it. Okay, now let's go back and look at our wiki. And let's create the famous players page. Okay, and what we're going to do here is show the second option here, which is output wiki category. And our category is famous players. And when you do the category output, you're choosing a category. You can order it by title or creation date. Title is the default. So we'll insert that and publish it. And now let's go back and check out how our wiki's coming along. You see now that because it exists, this is no longer red. That's the color that this theme has for links. So, and when we click on it, here's the output of our category. So, let's add a couple more pages. Let's add a page for interesting facts. I'm just going to make up some stuff here. My favorite player was Emmanuel Lasker. Oh yeah, let's make this a link because that exists. Oh look, because that page exists, we get a hint here. It does a lookup for us. And so just wanted to show that so you could see that suggestion, how that works. And let's see, he was a mathematician. Okay, I'll save that. And we'll go back and look here. All right, let's create the article index. Okay, and this way I can show you the third option here, the output index. And it's going to output the wiki pages in a table-like kind of responsive grid. And you can choose 1 to 4 columns. So we'll insert that. We'll publish it. And let's go take a look. Okay, and so here are our articles that we've published so far. I guess 4 is maybe too many here for the size of our area. So let's just change that to 3. There. And it is responsive. Another thing I wanted to show you is that YadaWiki comes with a sidebar widget. So let's add our TOC to the sidebar, and I'm just going to leave it blank, everything blank, the default's here. If you wanted to, you could output a category instead, but I'm just going to take the defaults here, and there's our table of contents. And one thing I wanted to point out is, this here, our TOC, the table of contents, the way those show, those are based on your theme, and you can style those, as you would any WordPress content. You could make the background gray for this little side here. You could indent these. That's something, how it shows depends on your theme. Um, and then the last thing I wanted to show here are the settings for YadaWiki. There are a couple of optional settings. By default, comments and trackbacks are turned off for wiki pages. So if you want that to be an option, you can click here, and if you turn on that option, then you can set the default. If you want to always have comments on by default, then you can check that. If you want to always have trackbacks on by default, you can check that. Otherwise, they'll be off by default, and you can manually turn them on a page-by-page basis. Another option that we have here is that there's an option to use the wiki shortcode buttons for regular posts and pages. Say you're want to link to a wiki page from some other page, from a regular page, then you can check this and you can insert the wiki shortcodes there. But you can only, when you're creating a wiki link, you can only link to other wiki pages. If you want to link to like another site or some other type of content, then just use the regular link option in the editor. So on the plugin page for YadaWiki, there is a FAQ section, and there's a lot of information there. It might be worth taking a look at. And then also on my website, I have some documentation, and this is kind of the documentation for the plugin. It goes over the same kind of things were covered here in the demo tutorial, maybe in a little more depth or something. So I hope this is useful for getting started. If you have any questions or problems, then you can post those in the support area for the plugin. Thank you.